Our next section is over finding surface area and volume of 3D shapes. And question number 1 is the first one that we're going to do. So Sammy wanted a place to keep his autographed baseball. He bought a clear plastic box. Of course, we know that boxes are prisms. That was made from 6 identical square pieces of plastic as shown. What is the surface area of the baseball case? So remember that surface area is if you were to take the 3D shape and unwrap it and find the area of each individual side and then add all of those areas together. So like this side right here, then I would find the area of the top, the bottom, etc. So that's what surface area is. Now they were nice to us here and they actually went ahead and unwrapped the box for us. So all we have to do is find the area of each of these squares and add them all together. And it says 6 identical squares, which means if we find the area of one of them, we found the area of the whole thing. Well, since they're squares, if this side is 3, you know that that side has to be 3. So 3 times 3, which is what we would do to find the area of this rectangle, or a square is a special kind of rectangle. So 3 times 3 would be 9. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. Each of them has an area of 9. So you would do 6 times 9, and therefore the area of the entire, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. So the total surface area of the entire box is 6 times 9, which is C54. The next problem that has to deal with surface area and volume, you're going to turn the page just a little bit, and you're going to turn the page twice. You're going to go to this next one right here, to number 11. And most of you guys have probably actually already watched that ERQ video, so you know this is asking us to find the volume, which is all the space inside of the shape. Before we found surface area, which was all the area of the outside. Now we're trying to figure out if we were going to fill the sky with cubes, how many cubes would fit into the entire thing. So we know that to find the volume of a rectangular prism, you find the area of the base and then multiply it by how high it is. That is the formula that's written on the reference sheet that was given to us. B stands for the area of the base. So we need to know how wide this bottom of our base is. So if this side right here is 7, that means that this side right here must be 7. If this top is 7, that means that the bottom is 7. So the base is 7 wide and 2 long. So 7 times 2 gives us 14 for the area of the base. Then you still need to multiply it. That means that 14 sets of cubes will fit down here in the bottom of the box. And then it's 4 centimeters high, which means that you have room to stack 4 layers of those 14 cubes. So 4 times 14 gives us our total area of 56 centimeters cubed. Do not fall for B that says squared because we're finding volume. Remember, area is square area, but when we're finding volume, we're figuring out how many cubes go in there. So you needed to pick C, the one that has the cubic units on it instead of just the squares. Number 12 is also over surface area and volume. It says the roof of a tower is in the shape of a square pyramid. The side length of the roof is 12 feet. So that means that this distance right here, it's nice and labeled for us, and the slant height is 10 feet. What is the total surface area of the roof, not including the base? So to find surface area, remember we have to find the area of all of the outside pieces. This actually tells us, so surface area, this tells us not including the base. So that means that we don't have to find the area of the bottom. All we need to find is the area of the 4 triangles that go around the side. And, lucky enough for us, it says that they're all the same. It says the side length is 12 and the height is 10, and that goes for all the triangles. So once we find the area of one triangle, we're really done. We just need to multiply it by 4 to figure out the total area. So if we look on our reference sheet, we need to figure out what the area of a triangle is. And even though a lot of you guys probably know what it is already, we're going to look at our reference sheet anyway, just to make sure we remember. And let me clear all this stuff off here for us. So the area of a triangle equals 1/2 times the base times the height. Remember that 1/2 is the one that people always seem to forget. So we're going to go back up here. So in order to find the area of this triangular piece right here, we have to do 1/2 times the base times the height. So the base of the triangle is 12. The height, if this is 10, then this has to be 10. So 12 times 10 is 120, and then 1/2 times 120 gives us 60. So that means the area of each of these triangles around the side is 60 square feet. Then, of course, the base is a square, so that means there's one triangle on this side, one on that side, one on that side, and one over there. So that means there's a total of 4 triangular sides. So 4, the area of each of them is 60. 4 times 60 means our answer would be C, 240 square feet. Moving right along, the next one in this section is number 13. So you're actually going to notice that there are 2 different prisms right here. There's actually a triangular prism on the top of the house, or I guess it's a storage shed, and then there's a rectangular prism down here on the bottom of the storage shed. So we actually need to find the volume of both of those prisms and then add them together. So we've done the volume for, because it says what is the volume of the storage shed. So this actually tells us that the width is 5, the length is 6, the height from here to here is 6. We've done the volume of a rectangular prism a couple times now. So you remember that you do the area of the base times the height. So 5 times 6 is 30. Multiply that by the height, which is 6. 30 times 6 is 180. Now that's only for the volume of the bottom. Now we've still got to figure out the volume of the top. And remember, for a triangular prism, you can do it exactly the same way that you find the volume of a rectangular, except just like a triangle is half of a rectangle, once you find that volume, you've got to cut it in half. So we need to do the length times how wide it is times how high it is. So we've got the width right here. If this is 5, that means that this has to be 5, so it's 5 wide. If this is 6, that means that this has to be 6, so this is how long it is. And then it tells us right here how high it is. So if we do 5 times 6 times 2, we do length times width times height, that'll give us 5 times 6 is 30. 30 times 2 is 60, but remember that we have to cut it in half because a triangular prism is half of a rectangular prism. So 60 divided by 2 is 30. So the volume of the bottom is 180 plus the volume of the top is 30. If we add all that together, that gives us a total of B, 210 cubic feet. For number 14, the next one that we need, it's asking us for the surface area, which means we need to find the area of each of the sides and then add it all together. And at least it's a rectangular prism, so that's kind of easy because all we really have to do, because the front is going to be the same as the area for the back, and then the sides are going to be the same, and then the top and the bottom are going to be the same. So really, we only have to figure it out once and multiply it by 2. So let's figure out the area of the front first, and if this is 7, that means that this is 7, which means that this is 7. This is actually the same shape from the previous problem. So it's 7 wide. If this is 4, that means that this has to be 4. So the area of the front is 7 times 4, which is 28. Now, there's a front and a back. So then we're going to take, once we do that 7 times 4 to get our 28, rewrite this a little bit more legibly. That means we've actually got 2 that are 28. So then once we found the front and the back, now we need to do, let's do the sides next. So this side and this side. So if it's 2 wide and it's 4 high, 2 times 4 is 8. There's a side here and a side here, which means we need 2 sets of 8. And then last but not least, we need the top and we need the bottom. So if it's 7 wide, and if this is 2, let me get rid of some of this stuff here because they're starting to get a little too much ink here. So we've got to do the top and the bottom. So it's 7 wide. And then if this is 2, that means that that has to be 2. So 7 times 2 is 14. And of course, the top and the bottom have the same area. So 28 plus 28 is 56. 8 plus 8 is 16. 14 plus 14 is 28. So if we add all of this together, if my math is correct, we should come to a total of, oh wait, that should be 20, 5, 6, 7, 8, should be 100 square centimeters. The very last one that is covered under volume and surface area on the test is number, oh wait, nope, I think that was it. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, that's all of them.